What's going on, guys? So just kind of going on a walk right now and figured I'd just record a video, something about a nice snowy day that kind of inspires me to record for some reason. But anyway, yeah, you should definitely start a YouTube channel in 2026, right? You're a guy like me, you're in your late 30s or somewhere in your 30s. Maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, but you definitely have responsibilities, you have bills to pay, you have stuff going on. I think you definitely have an advantage, right? In this time and age that we live in, of the internet and of YouTube. You should definitely start a channel, and it doesn't matter whether you're ready or not. It doesn't really matter, right? Because I know there's a lot of common objections when it comes to starting a YouTube channel, or you're thinking about it, but you're like, man, I'm too busy, have too much stuff going on. I want to do it, but then I feel awkward on camera, or it's too late, I missed the wave. I need to get, maybe you're thinking you need to have the right equipment. You need to have a better camera, better audio, better this, better that. There's never going to be a perfect time. Let me tell you that right now. You're not going to be 100% ready. Let me just kind of give you that angle, all the geese over there. But you're not going to be ready. And you're not going to have all the time in the world. You're not going to be comfortable, right? And I'll be honest, even right now, as I'm talking to you, there's like people walking around, and I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of intimidating, right? Like just standing here with a camera recording. It's not something common that you see every single day. At least I don't see it around here. But this is what I mean, right? Like, if I let that hold me back, the uncomfortableness and the awkwardness, if I let that stop me, when I know deep down inside I do want to create a channel, I do want to try this out, then, if I let that get ahead of me, then I'm never going to get started, right? And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I'm pretty sure you're thinking about it, and there's a lot of reasons why you should start, right? First of all, let's start with the obvious. Being in your 30s, you're not necessarily old. I believe you're relatively young, but you have a lot of experience, right? You have more experience than someone in their 20s, let's put it that way. And you have certain situations and things that you went through, circumstances that you can talk about. As a millennial, we've seen a lot of things, right? We've been through a lot of stuff. So you can definitely share, you can talk about things you went through, or you can share your knowledge. There's got to be some things that and maybe that's another thing, right? Sometimes you might think like, well, I don't know exactly what to talk about. I don't have a specific niche or a specific topic. So, I don't want to start until I figure that out. And let me tell you, if you're trying to figure that out before you start, then you're never going to start. Because that was me. I was too worried about having everything down packed. And yeah, while it does help to, have a specific niche, audience, and, a topic to talk about, you don't have to have that figured out on day one, right? I'm a strong believer that kind of just comes to you over time. That's something that you figure out as you go, right? Because you start uploading videos, and, you could just talk about different subjects and different things. You could talk about fitness, you could talk about finance, or whatever it is that you know about and that people can use your help with. You're able to share that knowledge at the beginning, you know, if you have an extensive amount of knowledge on different topics or whatever, talk about those things. And then you'll start to see like which videos stick, and you can kind of pivot towards that direction. That's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, but the thing with me is I don't really consider myself an expert at one specific thing. I mean, I know, you know, one thing I love is fitness. And, you know, I love talking about YouTube and other things, but I'm not necessarily an expert, and you don't have to be either, right? You could just know a little bit more than what the average person knows, and that's enough to help them. So start with that, right? Just don't let that hold you back. And then another reason you should start a YouTube channel, right? In 2026, right now, in this day and age, is because there's a very low barrier to entry. You no longer need fancy camera equipment. You don't need, I mean, I would say you want decent audio because you want people to hear what you're saying, but you don't have to have high quality stuff, right? Like, I think that the days of high budget, you know, production and fancy equipment and all that stuff, I think those are long gone, right? Those days are long gone, because for a while people were just trying to outdo each other and one up each other and just do stuff for entertainment. But with that, there came a lot of drawbacks, right? And one of the biggest drawbacks, the biggest cons to that, is that there's no real human to human connection, right? No, you know, it's no wonder that people are more drawn to, you know, right now, people are more drawn to like raw, unedited, uncut videos, kind of like this, right? Like, I don't plan to make any edits, right? I don't have the fanciest camera. I mean, I do have a little, I do have like a little mic here with this little windscreen thing. I bought on Amazon. Bought it for like $100. I mean, they have cheaper ones if you don't have the budget for it, but I figured as long as you guys can hear me pretty well, that's good enough. But that's my point, right? Like, you don't have to spend all this money on camera equipment. So there's a very low barrier to entry. And then with AI, right, with the advancement of AI and the advent of AI, there's a lot less authenticity, right? Because people are creating these videos and there's a lot of slop that's out there. And pretty soon there's going to be a point where you're not going to tell what's real, what's not. There's going to be these people behind the camera and you're not going to know whether or not, you know, it's a real person or if it's AI. Because we're headed that direction. I mean, the technology is already here. But that also creates an opportunity for people like us. Just normal, everyday, regular people that have jobs, that have responsibilities, that pay bills, pay taxes. We can come up here, we can come on YouTube and just talk about our lives. And most importantly, provide some kind of value that speaks to people and that people can extract from when you upload the videos. Because that's another reason, like I said, that you should start a video is you may not be an expert. I'm kind of just walking around in circles. I don't know where I'm going, but you may not be an expert, but you have something. There's something that you have or something that you know that someone can benefit from, or that's something that someone can extract from. So that's another reason why you should start a channel, right? And you know, you don't necessarily have to come at this with the expectation of going viral or trying to blow up, right? That's not what I'm doing, right? If I can build a small little audience, I'd be happy with that. But another reason you could do it too is for your legacy, man. Like, especially if you have loved ones. you have a family, right? There's going to be a day when we're not going to be here no more, and we're going to pass on. And you know, if you could leave behind a legacy, then why not start with YouTube? Record some videos, upload them, and your family can watch it, right? Your kids, your loved ones, they can learn from you. They can gain something, you know, from your videos, and it's something to kind of help keep your memory, keep your legacy alive. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm doing this, right? I'm not expecting to go viral or to have, you know, thousands or millions of subscribers or anything like that. But I just want to leave behind a legacy. And I think you should do the same thing, right? So start with that. Even if no one's watching right now, right? Even if no one's watching your videos, you should definitely still start a channel. Because another reason why is for just self-growth, right? Personal development, personal growth. You start to learn more about yourself when you upload videos, and you learn things, right? You learn things. It's almost like journaling. I started to journal like years ago, and it's crazy when I look back at the journal entries. If you've journaled before, then you know what I'm talking about. Sorry, like my mouth is numb, my tongue is numb right now, but it's because it's kind of cold out here. But I feel like it's the same thing with YouTube, right? You kind of get to know yourself a little bit better, and you just grow as a person. And you can look back at the videos and you can see what works, you can see what's not working, you can analyze, and it might be cringe, right? It might be cringe at first. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I look back at some of my videos, even this one, right? I'll probably upload it and look back at it and watch it, and I'll probably cringe a little bit, but that's okay. It's better to go through that now, early on, because you'll get better. It's like anything in life. It's the same thing with fitness. You don't get better, you don't get fit on day one. You got to put the reps in, you got to put the time in. You got to make it a lifestyle. And you document it, and you'll see the progress over time, right? The compound effect. 1% improvement every single day. Think about that, right? It's the same thing with YouTube. Same thing with your videos. Your first 50 videos, 100 videos, they're probably going to suck. But then you'll start to get better. And you'll start to see what works and what doesn't work, right? But you have to stop overthinking. That was my problem for almost anything, right? I overanalyze stuff. I overthink everything. And I've learned not to do that. Because the biggest motivator for me, and it should be for you too, is that you're not going to be here forever. You're going to die one day. That's just a fact. So, you know, don't worry about how it's going to happen. Don't worry about what other people think or say. I don't remember where I was going with this, but look, I don't even have a structured, you know, I don't have like bullet points or a listicle or notes or anything. I'm just kind of speaking off the cuff right now. Yeah, you should definitely start a channel in 2026. Authenticity is something that people are craving more these days, and it's just hard to get, and it's going to get harder with AI. AI is actually creating an opportunity, and it's creating an opportunity for people like us, who are just everyday people, you know, who are just paying bills and paying taxes and you know, stuff like that. So yeah, you should definitely start a channel in 2026 if you're in your 30s. You know, you got some life experiences to talk about. Don't wait, right? Because we're getting older too, right? We're not necessarily old, but we're not in our 20s anymore, and we're headed towards our 40s. So don't wait till you're 45 and then, you know, and then you start regretting. You start thinking like, man, I should have started 10 years ago. I should have started 5 years ago, right? And don't get me wrong, it's never too late to start a YouTube channel. It doesn't matter what age you are. There's people in their 50s and 60s that have YouTube channels that are very successful. But they all say the same thing, and I'm learning from them, right? Oh wow, some kind of sinkhole. I don't even know what I'm walking on. Hopefully I'm not walking on water or something, frozen water. But yeah, there's people that are older and they all say the same thing, right? They all say, man, I wish I would have started 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or I wish I would have stayed consistent with it. So if you're thinking about it, just do it, man. Just do it. Like, hit the record button and start. Don't try to figure everything out right away. You know, I think the key to winning now is figuring things out as you go along. You'll see what works, you see what doesn't work, and it's worth it. So that's what I'm doing. You know, I'm still early on in the game, but I've had a couple decent videos that got some views, and I've had other videos that didn't do so well, right? And I'm probably gonna have a lot of videos that aren't gonna do so well, and that's okay. Like I said, I'm not trying to do this for, you know, to go viral or to get millions of views or subs or anything like that. I'm just doing this to build a legacy. I'm doing this to help whoever I can, right? If you gain value out of this video, great. If not, it's cool, you know? Like, I know not everybody's gonna resonate. And like I said, I'm not, you know, I'm not waiting for perfection, and you shouldn't either. And look, I get it, man. Like, people like us that work every day, we have responsibilities. Life can get boring, right? It can get really repetitive, you know, being stuck in the same routine, doing the same stuff every single week. And you feel like your life is just kind of passing you by and it's drifting away. And I guess that's another reason why I got inspired to start this channel, was because I wanted to do something different. And it's like they say, like, you can't get to places you've never been if you don't start doing things you haven't done, right? Start trying stuff out. Start with YouTube, right? And like I said, you don't have to know how to edit stuff. Some of my videos, I've done a little bit of editing. I use CapCut. It's a free editing software. You can use it, and you know, you can learn how to kind of chop up your videos a little bit if you want to take out the filler words, you know, the oohs and ahs, and you know, whatever long awkward pauses that you might have, or if you stumble across your words. But honestly, you don't even have to do that. You don't have to do that right now, right? Like, no one cares about that. Maybe at one time, you know, maybe at one time it mattered, but just be yourself. If you're going to create a YouTube video, just be yourself, and I think you'll do all right. You know, I think a lot of people would appreciate that, because if you're like me, you're kind of over the whole high production stuff and just all the guru content that's out there, and people just they're doing this just to try to sell you something, sell you a course on how to do A, B, and C, and which is fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that, right? But you know, you got to monetize somehow, I guess. But just start off by being yourself, and don't try to figure everything out on day one. I think that if you keep that in mind, then I think you're going to do pretty good. But you know, like I said, if you're thinking about it, you're a guy, just do it. All right. It's never going to be the perfect moment. We're in 2026. And the creator economy is booming, and it's gonna explode. A lot of people are going to start uploading videos. They're going to start creating channels, and I think you should do it, especially if you're thinking about it. You know, it's normal to have common objections and concerns, but just kill that noise for a little bit, right? Just start. Tell yourself, I'm going to upload at least 50 to 100 videos and see what happens. That's what I'm going to try to do. But anyway, I'm not going to keep rambling on. So I think I got my point across. If you have any questions, or if you just want to talk, whatever, any comments, just leave them down below. And, we could talk, right? We have a little dialogue, discussion down in the comments section. Otherwise, I hope you've gained some kind of value from this video, and I'm like you, just know that I'm not anybody special. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm just someone who decided to take a little bit more control of my life and not let my circumstances dictate me, and not overthink things. So I think you could do the same thing. All right, I'll leave it at that. Take care. God bless.